Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Comical Minds.
I'm Chris Tavares.
Mike Andrus.
On today's episode, we review the highly anticipated movie, Naughty Nurses 7.
I thought we were reviewing Ass Crashers 3.
We could do that one too. We'll make it a threesome. No, on today's episode, we're going to be reviewing spoiler alerts, and it's just dangerous on spoiler alerts. I cannot express that enough. If you have not seen Suicide Squad, this is your chance to skip to another episode because we're going to go all out, balls deep, and talk about everything.
Everything is going to be on the table. Everything.
We're laying it out there. Cards on the table. Take it as you want it. Suicide Squad.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what do you think?
Okay, no, I'm gonna. You always ask me, Mike. What do you think of Suicide Squad? We saw it last night. It was amazing. Oh, okay. What did you think of it?
You just took the words right out of my mouth, Christopher. You know what, man? It's one of those things where you build it up in your head so much, like this
and then
is
get
what
disappointed. No.
It's like life, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it was one of those things where, I had hyped it up so much in my mind, and then you see it, and as a fan, just
delivered
on all levels, firing on all cylinders. Fan service, good storytelling.
Yes.
Granted, sure, there may have been a little hiccups here and there. No, I don't think there's any movie that's perfect, because everybody's idea of what a perfect movie is going to be totally different. Like for us,
exactly.
For us, they had Batman in it. It's perfect.
I'm done. I saw Batman. I'm good.
Oh my goodness, dude! I don't even know where to start.
Okay, so beginning of the movie. First off, just excellent soundtrack, way better than I actually first anticipated.
Yeah,
the soundtrack was amazing, and I loved how every time they introduced Harley Quinn or Deadshot or Croc, they always had badass music, like just rocking and rolling.
It really did. So, as Chris said before, spoiler alert, we're going to spoil the hell out of this movie.
Oh, we're going to literally, everything's out. So,
yep.
Just
full
giving
frontal.
You fair warning. Full frontal.
Dude, okay, so the movie opens with Amanda Waller talking to these government bigwigs, right?
Yeah.
Like these military bigwigs. And essentially, it's just like this beautiful introduction video of, like, she's pulling out files like, this is Deadshot, this is Harley Quinn, this is Killer Croc, this is Captain Boomerang. Like, literally just, like, the first, what would you say, 15 minutes of the movie is just an awesome, epic
intro to the characters.
Introduction to the characters that is just mind-blowing.
You know what I liked about it is, how Marvel, they gave every character their own movie, like maybe one or two, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and then Thor, Hulk, and then they did Avengers. This one, we're gonna give them a few because the characters are generally known, and then we're just gonna go rush it and put them together.
Yeah, I agree. Like this is how you do an ensemble movie.
Yes,
in my opinion. Like, you don't have as many characters as, say, like Ocean's 11, but you have to introduce these 7 solid characters within 15 minutes.
Because you still have to have the whole movie with them interacting with each other. And they did it so good.
Yeah, you felt connected to the characters.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, there were some characters at the beginning, like Diablo. You don't really know much about him, but as the movie progresses, you see a little bit is revealed until by the end of the movie, he's one of your favorite characters.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and dude, you called that on the last episode. Your words were he was a hidden gem, and Jesus Christ, dude, I just said Jesus Christ, and then I said Diablo. I'm so going to go to hell. But
what kind of Catholic are you?
Not a good one.
Dude, but yeah,
such a great character. Like, the end of the movie, you loved him. And he turned out so much more badass than you ever would have thought.
Essentially, he is the Superman of the group. He's the most powerful of the group, if you think about it. He may not be the most skilled like Harley Quinn or Deadshot. I gotta say, maybe Deadshot takes the cake of the most skilled.
Yeah.
But the most powerful,
dangerous.
The big gun,
yeah.
He's the big gun.
So at first, he doesn't want to fight.
Right.
Every time there's a little battle between, who they're going up against, which we'll talk about after a bit, he's always basically tucking off to the side, just like, they got it, okay, and he just stands back. And then there's one in the trailer, Will Smith is just whacking him on the head. Come on, you like that? And then you see him just shoot flames. It gets so much more epic than that.
Dude. Yes. And it's interesting how I think they balanced it out pretty well. Have juggling all these characters all at once is often, you would think in the hands of an amateur storyteller would be really difficult.
Yes.
But I feel like everybody had a pretty adequate amount of time.
Everyone had their 15 minutes of fame, and then they gave more.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing that you totally called from the very beginning, Slipknot.
Yeah. I think that was probably like one of my most favorite death scenes I've seen in a while. So,
Dude.
as we all know, which they did stay true to, they put the little bomb device in their heads, or like right at the back base of their neck.
Right.
And there's this scene, like they're in the city, they've been brought together, something's going on, and like Boomerang and Slipknot are walking side by side, and Boomerang's like, it's all head games, and Slipknot's like, what? He goes, yeah, it's all head games. There's no bomb implanted in our neck. We're outside. We're free. Let's make a run for it. And he's just testing it. He's like, I'm going to have this guy test out the field of mines first, and if he makes it, then maybe it is safe for me to go too.
Oh,
so Boomerang throws like one punch, then he just steps back. Slipknot makes a run for it, and then all of a sudden his head just explodes. The dude I think at most had maybe 5 to 10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, if not less.
And all of what you see of him is exactly on the trailers. He comes out of a bag, punches someone, then they're walking down the thing, he zips up, and then fucking kaboom, head's gone.
That is literally his part of the movie. And I feel bad because the guy seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like he seems like a dude that, honestly, well, I take that back. You don't know crap about this guy.
Yeah.
Like, what was kind of funny?
I think his only line was he punched that woman, the officer, and then he's like, she had a mouth on her or something like that. So it kind of made me like, oh yeah, he could die.
Well, yeah, even in the fact that, the beginning of the movie, they introduce all these characters besides him.
Yeah.
And then his introduction is literally him getting pulled up in a Jeep, him walking out of the Jeep, and there's somebody off camera saying, oh, that's Slipknot. The man who can climb anything.
Yeah.
That's his introduction.
That's
like
it.
Compared to like Deadshot's epic freaking introduction.
Yes.
That of which I can go on at length with. Harley Quinn's crazy homage to her entire history.
Yeah.
As the Harley Quinn character, dude. Oh man. Just beautiful. And then like 15 minutes later, oh yeah, Slipknot. This guy's here too. I feel bad that it was a Native American guy. I feel like
they just don't give them a break.
They just get the shaft all the time.
What we want you to do is we want you to come off your reservation to shoot maybe a day or two of movie with us, and then just go back to your Wampa and selling jade bracelets on the street corner.
I can't believe you said that.
Well, it's okay. I'm part Indian.
Okay, thank God, because that's like me making a black joke. Like. Oh, man. All right. One thing I wanted to talk about, dude, since we're talking about the intros of the movie, Deadshot, his introduction.
Man.
So Amanda Waller pulls out a file and was like, what? Floyd Lawton, this is his backstory. Or it's like, well, how did you catch him? And she says, I didn't.
But she said something particular. Do you remember what she said, though?
Remind me.
She goes something like, I just gave a tip to a certain person in Gotham City, something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
And then they show him. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. Go ahead.
No. It's cool. Trust me. Like I totally forgot about that line. But the scene is Will Smith's character and his daughter. They're walking down New York City or Gotham City. Yeah, they're walking in Gotham and they're just shopping. And the voiceover is like, I didn't catch him. It's like I just gave the right tip to the right guy.
Yeah.
And then they turn into this alleyway. And freaking Batman comes out of the sky.
Just right behind. You just see the cape and him just poof right behind him. And then the fight scene.
Oh man, there was a fight scene. I totally just blacked out. I was like, this is happening!
My heart was pounding. My pants were being starched. I'm watching this thing
I think you and I were the two in the theater freaking out the most.
There were scenes in the movie where I know it was like either you, me, or Josh were the only ones screaming, or we would be at the edge of our seats just ah. But the fight scene between him and Batman, and then it was so sad.
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah,
because Batman does the thing he does the best,
which was great.
which was great, is he takes out the world's greatest assassin, essentially one of the world's greatest hitmen,
Mhm.
and he hits him where it hurts the most.
Yeah,
So it's not even a physical part of his body; it's his emotional part. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to do this in front of your daughter.
I think it was before like a punch was really thrown, right? Or
yeah,
I think there's maybe been like a block, like Deadpool went to, what the fuck is wrong with me? Deadshot.
There you go.
Went to throw a punch. I think Batman kind of like blocked it or something because it wasn't much of a fight, and he said that, and then there was a fight. Yeah. And then the I don't want to do this in front of your daughter. He gave him that option.
Just that moment where Batman gave him the option.
Yeah. But he still wanted to throw it down.
Don't make me do this kind of deal. And
so Deadshot does kind of like a troll down, pulls a gun out, kind of does like a kneeling aim, and then his daughter steps right in between. Because she's not, she goes, Daddy, I know what you do. I know you'll kill people for money. And she's kind of cool with it. She's like, yeah, my dad's a hitman. That's why my teachers give me all A's. But, she steps in between and she's like, Daddy, don't, and she steps in between her father and Batman, and so Batman, like, cuffs him, leaves him there, and then the police come in. But the whole time, like, it was so sad. Like, you see the girl just hugging on him, and, he knows he's going away.
Yeah. Well, I think it was one of the few moments in a movie, I think almost ever, you see the heart of Batman as a hero. He's like, there's another way we can do this.
Yes.
And he's like, don't make me do this in front of your daughter. That's probably one of my favorite lines in the movie.
Dude, so I know like every episode we could talk about sports or camping, and then somehow you and I are going to tie it into Batman. No matter what, I'm pretty sure it's possible you and I can do it. And I know a lot of people were against it, but Ben Affleck as Batman, I think, is probably going to be right up there. It's one of the best. I like it. I am extremely happy with him.
The best.
And you know what? The costume is great. I've always been I've always been the 89, the long ears suit Batman, but I'm really digging this one with Ben Affleck.
I agree. Totally agree. The voice changer too, where like it muffles it, not muffles, but it distorts his voice, so it has that growl.
See, I like the voice changer where there's something there compared to like, I'm Bruce Wayne. I'm Bruce Wayne. I'm Batman. I know. I couldn't stand that voice, but with the voice changer, I'll lose my shit though if he goes up to someone who's like, "Hello, Claire," or "What's that? What's your favorite movie, Sydney?" Oh my god.
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, that'd be pretty nuts.
Oh man.
So from there, Deadshot.
Then it goes into Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, yes.
Okay, let me nerd out a little bit harder than I ever have.
Let me get some paper towels.
Yeah, let's get some paper towels,
man.
Let's give me the floor. But dude, just the sheer introduction of the Harley Quinn character. Their description is she's crazier than the Joker.
Yes.
Dude. And it showed the old 1990s costume.
I was Harley Quinn costume. Happy.
And what the beautiful part of it was
the
red and black, but it was a scene. It was a scene that recreates the iconic Alex Ross Batman cover.
The cover, yes.
Where Joker is in like a nice tuxedo, and Harley Quinn is just there dancing with him, and you can see that they're in love, and like it's that mad love.
Yeah, you said pull out my mouth. Yep,
dude. And the thing is, it's not even. It's like a snippet too. Like it's not. It's the whole scene. It's just like a little snip, little flashes.
Yeah, it's like little flashes of their love, their history together.
Yeah. And just in those little flashbacks, I mean, I honestly thought they were going to give more time to the scene where she turns into Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I kind of thought so, too.
I thought so, too. But the way they did it, I thought was really... I think it was well done because it could have gotten dark fast.
Yeah, no, they did a great job.
Yeah, because they... You know what I also really dug? Just a side note. The way they use Batman and Joker as secondary, maybe like a third-party background characters.
Yeah.
Like, they were there to enhance the story.
Yeah.
I mean, as fans, we're always going to be like, I want more!
It was like a plan B or a B script, It's like the background sound of the main show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they just did it wonderfully, I thought, in the sense that, like, yeah, these characters are tied to Batman. They're tied to Joker, but you're going to fall in love with them.
Yeah, they're their own characters. Yeah, their own merits. You're going to love them for them.
And I got to say, I think Margot Robbie totally stole the show. Like, Deadshot, Will Smith's Deadshot was great, but I think people are going to walk away being like, I can't wait to see a Harley Quinn movie.
I know. Oh my god! Could you imagine Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman if they gave them their own little
the Gotham
movie?
Sirens?
Yes,
Dude.
Oh my god!
Oh,
you know, it might be like a few fangirls, but then it's just be a bunch of like geeked out guys like us just sitting there, just like, the whole movie.
You know it. Like I'd be there, and even if they did like
you wouldn't be alone, man.
Even if they did it like I was gonna say the females Ghostbuster, the newest Ghostbusters,
Mm-hmm.
But that got a lot of crap. But if they kind of make it that like, hey, girl power movie,
yeah,
I'd totally be there to see it. Even if they did like a Powerpuff Girls kind of vibe of like, yeah, we're girls, but we're still gonna do super awesome stuff.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, no,
that
just
having those characters in a movie, just take my money.
It would be amazing, definitely. So Harley Quinn, Deadshot. Next up, Killer Croc.
Okay, you go. I did Harley Quinn.
I was so happy with how they did Killer Croc.
Okay, why? Tell me why.
Honest to God, I loved it. I thought it was awesome, man. He was bad. As a corrections officer, one of the scenes I loved was like his jail cell has like his own little fish.
His own little swamp.
His own little swamp. Yeah, it's like a jail cell, but it's like it's longer because they can hold water in there. Mm-hmm. So like they go in to extract him and they don't see him, and then all of a sudden he pops out of the water and grabs someone and just starts chewing on him, pulls over the water, and like after they get him, I love how they're all like, "Was that the new guy?" Because there was so many times we'd be doing a cell extraction and we're like, "Let's put the new guy in the front." You're Shield Man today.
I could see you like reminiscing in the theater when that moment came.
There was a couple times where like, "Oh, the good old days,
dude."
But yeah, so Killer Croc, they made his character badass. I liked it. There was a scene where they had to go under the water and they had like SEAL Team 6 there, and he's like, you guys are just tourists. I live there.
Yeah, that was the awesome thing. Is like in my mind, I was thinking, you guys are sending the scuba diving squad to go into the sewers or into the submerged subway station, and you got a human crocodile on your team.
Yeah.
Use him, and he doesn't. He walks in. He's like, "I'm going with you." He's like, "We didn't ask," and it's like, "I didn't ask either."
Yeah,
it's like, "I'm going."
Yeah, dude, he was just. I liked him, man. I was super pleased with how they did it. He did like the whole gator crawl into the water. Then they even showed him swimming underwater like one gator, man, or crocodile. It was cool. I was very pleased with how they did him.
There was a moment in the bar scene where they're all just sitting at a bar.
Yes.
And, they're all talking about whether they're redeemable or not.
Mm-hmm.
And Harley Quinn is like, well, yeah, Boomerang is talking to Harley Quinn. It's like, you're pretty on the outside, but you're ugly on the inside.
Yeah, you are ugly on the inside.
And it's like, yeah, we're all ugly on the inside. And then she points to Killer Croc. It's like, well, except for him. He's ugly on the outside, too.
Yeah.
And he takes this moment, he takes a beat, and he goes, I'm not ugly. I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like,
dude, I was very pleased with how they did. I mean, the makeup they did, the little bit of CGI they did on him, his lines, very good.
I also think maybe he might have had the most heart in the theater, in the ensemble, because essentially, well, him and Diablo had this same note where they just wanted to be left alone.
Yes.
Like. And you kind of saw them kind of bond in the movie a little bit. Like, they had a few moments where like, hey, yeah, we're hanging out. Come on, follow me. But yeah, they both have this same note of like, I don't want to do this mission where I got to kill people, but I just want to be left alone.
Well, Diablo, yeah. So Diablo, spoiler, which if you're still listening, you're a dumbass if you don't want to hear about the movie. You get spoilers. He kills his family. And it's his thing that's tormenting him.
Right.
And
it's why he gave up using his powers.
Exactly. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. He just wants to be left alone, and he gets forced into this. And so him and Killer Croc, they just I thought they were cool because Killer Croc, he just wanted to be left alone. He wasn't too big into doing stuff, but man, when it came to a fight scene, that dude was just chewing people's heads, man.
Yeah. And then segueing from Killer Croc, Amanda Waller.
Yes.
Who actually, at one point in the movie, walks past Killer Croc and does that shoulder nudge thing.
She just hits him like, get the fuck out of my way. Goddamn animal. Yeah.
Dude, and he turns around and is like, I like her.
Yeah. I like her. Yeah, that was just great. Gosh. But I tell you, so Amanda Waller, sum it up, cold-hearted bitch, straight up gangster.
Yeah.
That scene where...
Isn't there a scene with Rick Flag and Will Smith and Deadshot And Deadshot goes up there and is like, man, she is a mean bitch. And Rick is just, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's my boss. But yeah, so they have to extract somebody. That's why they're going into the city. They're not even going to fight the villain. They're going in there
It's a search and rescue mission.
Yeah. And they don't know who it is. Come to find out, it's Amanda Waller. She's stuck in the city. And so there was like her people working at the desk and stuff. So when they're like getting like, okay, pack up, start destroying files, let's go. As she's walking out, she pulls out a gun and just starts fucking capping all these workers in the head. Just pop, 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 right there.
Yeah. And Rick Flag, the field commander of Task Force X, he's like, that's mean. And he says like, look, I've had to tie my own loose ends, but come on, basically.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, was that really necessary? But she's her boss, or she's his boss, and she just looks at him and is like, move.
Yeah. So Amanda Waller, just what a badass. Just don't fuck with that bitch.
And on another side note, Rick Flag, what's interesting is when they announced Suicide Squad, did you know who they have originally picked to play Rick Flag? Tom Hardy.
I am so bad with names. What was he in?
He was Bane. And
nice. Okay, yeah.
But
you know what? I think would have been like too muscular of a guy.
Well, he slimmed down in a few movies, actually. Yeah. So, I mean, he bulked up heavy for that movie, but Tom Hardy's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah. I like who they had.
Yeah. But that guy, Joel Kinnaman, I think his name was, great actor. I mean, I really dug his character, and he also had a lot of emotional beats, too, where he was like, he showed how he had to do what Amanda Waller had him do, but he wasn't happy about it.
Okay. So do you want to just go in and say who the villain was?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. So in the movie,
Enchantress.
God damn it. Yeah, so in the movie, one of the Suicide Squad members is Enchantress, which is from what I understood, they're saying she was a metahuman, but an ancient one.
Basically, she's a witch.
A witch, okay.
Yeah, basically, she's like this ancient power from this ancient civilization. She's been alive for over 6,000 years, and they throw her on the team, but she basically goes rogue.
But she's possessing a woman, a doctor, who found, I guess, like her burial site, how she got possessed.
Yeah, Dr. June Moon.
And Amanda Waller sent Flag to take care of her, to watch over her, knowing he'd fall in love with her. And the only way they can control Enchantress is by her heart, which they have.
Right.
There was that scene, like she was a little off from not listening, and she just stabbed that heart, like just pricked it.
It's very Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, I was thinking of that. Yeah. It was... Yeah.
Whoever stabs a heart basically becomes or controls Davy Jones. Yeah, same thing with Enchantress.
But so Enchantress is possessing the body of the woman that Flag is in love with, and that's how Amanda Waller is controlling him. Yeah,
one of my favorite lines from her that summarize her character perfectly is, "I get people to act against their own self-interests." Like that's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. And dude, you manipulative lady at her finest. So
Dr. Moon, was it?
Yeah, June Moon.
June Moon. So she was always telling Rick, like, if you have to choose, kill me. Don't let her loose. And there was one where Enchantress comes out and she disappears for a few seconds, and she releases her brother. And so that's the villain that we all see in the subway, bringing hell. And just great movie, man. I liked it. I was very much into it.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's how would I describe it? It's a movie about a team fighting one of their own, almost, And great movie. One of my favorite scenes. Why don't we go into this? Our favorite moments in the movie. We've already talked about a few, like with Deadshot and Batman.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments in the movie was the Deadshot scene where they're still in the prison, but Rick Flag is like, all right, show me what you can do. And, Deadshot's like, are you serious? Like, yeah. And there's all these guns laid out on the table. They're in a firing range.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine if someone just laid all this shit out in front of us, like, show us what you got?
See, we're not at the skill level of.
Oh, I know, but I would still just.
I still be like, okay. But dude, like, so he starts going through these 3 metal targets, and he's just going off. He's just doing what he does best, just the perfect marksman, just going. And you see, when metal hits metal, you see the sparks,
and especially in the back of it,
yeah,
it's kind of like that little ding.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, you start seeing that there isn't any other splotches or any other metal markings on any of the targets.
Badass.
And then they zoom the camera in, and you see that he's shooting the exact same hole.
He's
on
just
3
hitting
different
the
targets,
same spot,
and they're all headshots. And they go to a shot where they're viewing like what everybody else's reaction to, like their reaction shot, and they're like, "No way, get out!" And so by the time Deadshot is done doing his little cheerleader tryout, as he calls it, he puts the gun down, and you just see 3 targets. 3 holes, all in the headshot, all in the head area, just friggin' perfect. And then you're, sure, okay, yeah, it's not realistic, but come on, it's still awesome to see.
Oh, it was amazing. One of the things I thought was funny, you and I both being gun guys, was when he fires that first shot. Like, he was expecting it to be blanks at first. Remember, like, he had the gun pointed at the guard's head, and Waller was like, just do it, pull the trigger then. So he's like, yeah, right, points the gun up, shoots it, and he's like, oh, it's a real...
It's like, y'all must be crazy.
Yeah, but like the best part though is like he shoots it and immediately he smells he smells the you remember like like a crackhead, like just getting his fix,
dude.
Oh, it's like I love the smell of napalm in the morning, So that one was good. One of the scenes I really liked. I've always kind of liked redeeming stuff. So Diablo, El Diablo,
right,
is not much of a fighter. He's trying not to fight. He's afraid of letting loose and killing people again, like of how he killed his wife and his kids. Well, there was a scene where Enchantress is trying to, basically fuck with their minds, there's that scene where Deadpool is fighting. God damn it, Deadshot. Just too many characters.
You're ruining the credibility of the show, Christopher.
I know. It was a long day, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a scene with him fighting Batman.
Yeah.
And where the daughter steps in front of him. Well, she messes with his mind, and the daughter never steps in front, and he shoots Batman in the head. He kills him. He kills like his enemy.
Right.
And
this is the vision that Enchantress is
bestowing on him and the other members of the group. Harley Quinn wants a normal life with Joker, and she's getting that image. So they're like getting lost in their own little world. Like she's turning them into like just dummies, just to stand there and live in their own little world while she does what she's doing, trying to take over. And Diablo, I love him. He's like, no, he fucking owned up to it. He's like, I did this. This is who I am. And he's like, you're not taking my family from me. Like, he's considering these other killers like parts of his, they're his family. And he just starts, dude, his character right there just fucking blossoms. And he just starts fighting, letting loose. And then probably the coolest fucking scene, is Diablo fighting, just blowing fire out of his hands against his giant brother Enchantress guy. And all of a sudden, his skin just melts off and turns into a giant, like, Aztec skeleton. Dude, that was just so badass. Fighting fire with fire,
Yep. Essentially the devil against another greater evil.
Yes.
Kind of deal.
And so for me, I think that was probably, like, my favorite scene. That
was your favorite scene?
Seeing him, take, I did this, he step up and save his members.
You know what that scene reminded me of was... do you remember that Justice League episode for The Man Who Has Everything? Where essentially in Justice League, Superman gets wrapped up with this alien plant that makes him see
his dream
like
life. What he wants.
And so he's caught up in this dream life of like he's back on Krypton. He has a family. His parents are still alive.
He has a son.
Yeah. And then he realizes later on that everything is fake.
Yeah,
and so he has to rip himself from that dream to free himself to save, him and his friends.
So heartbreaking when he's saying goodbye to his son. Technically not real. It was probably, but
it's the same effect where in that scene and then in the scene of Suicide Squad, they have to essentially rip themselves out of a fake reality that they want
desperately
in their heart's deepest desires. Rip that out and then complete their mission, kind of thing.
Yes.
And so, yeah, Diablo comes up, and is like, it's not real. And then Rick Flag realizes, like, oh yeah, shoot, it's not real, because he's seen his life with June, and like,
and how it could be if she wasn't possessed, and all.
What it could be, and dude, yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
You know, it's funny. Like, Killer Croc was doing something else, but what do you think his dream would have been?
They actually didn't even show it, right?
Yeah, it would have been gruesome.
You know,
a pig farm.
You know what? You know what I honestly think it was?
Huh?
I think he wanted to be human.
Oh shit! You just went to a whole nother level there, man.
I think he wanted to be human. And
you just went Pinocchio on us, man. I want to be a real boy. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. They actually didn't show what he wanted.
Yeah.
You know what? I think he was in the sewers.
Well, yeah, he was in the sewers, but I would have liked like if he was there, would have been interesting to see his thing.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, you just went some deep soul right there.
Hey man, on this show we can go deep too, all the way, right?
So overall, that movie met all expectations I had and exceeded.
Soundtrack, characterization. Some people were complaining about the story. What do you think about the story?
I think the story was great. You know, honestly, God, I feel like the people that complain about stories or the critics that don't like it, that it's because, you know, they're so... It's not their type of movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're not going to catch a comic book guy going to go see Titanic and he's going to be like, oh, you know, I didn't like, you know. It's out of their realms, you know what I mean? So I feel like they can't appreciate it as much as other comic book people would.
Essentially, it's like a comic book reader like myself going in and reviewing a football game.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I got no territory. I mean, I can tell you I enjoyed it. I can tell you I was bored out of my mind.
The guy caught the ball, somebody tackled him. Yeah, it was all right. You know,
they moved 3 yards.
So yeah, I mean, guy in stripes threw a yellow flag. Yeah, so it's like, you know, I don't feel some critics should be able to criticize movies that they don't fully understand or appreciate.
You know what I think? I think with the power of the internet, essentially a critic is everybody now. You know, sure, there's some critics who have a bigger voice, maybe a bigger platform. You know,
by the way, subscribe, show us to your friends, share.
Yeah, we just gotta kiss ass to the listeners, man. But yeah, I mean, I think essentially the movie critics now, their reviews of movies have a lot less weight to, like, people are still going to see this movie. Like, yeah, Batman vs. Superman may have gotten crap reviews. The thing made close to $1 billion, though.
Oh, yeah. At the end of the day, they're laughing to the bank.
Oh, yeah. It's like,
you fuckers say whatever you want.
Like, all right. Yeah, it sucks. Cha-ching.
Yeah.
But, okay. Before we end this show, I mean, we pushed past the half-hour point. I know we wanted to try and keep it a little bit more condensed.
Yes. Two Portuguese trying to keep a short conversation.
30 minutes is short.
You know what's funny? Like, side note, my father always, you know, long story short, you better just sit down because there's another 15 to 20 minutes of the story that he's trying to get to.
Dude, okay. The thing I wanted to talk about. The post-credit scene where Amanda Waller is in the restaurant again.
You, me, and Josh were literally at the edges of our seat. You know, our hands are cupping our mouth. Like, we're, like it was just pathetic.
Just the moment she's like, I need some help, Mr. Wayne.
Oh, man.
It's like,
man, I felt so bad. The person in front of me, like, they definitely got a white spot on the back of their head when I heard
it's
that.
Like, why does it keep moving? Dude, it was just that moment where, okay, essentially, I had to go back and think hard about, okay, what was the scene? Because I was so nerding out just hard. Essentially, she is asking Bruce Wayne for protection. I guess, you know, maybe help from his company to kind of cover up what really happened in the movie. But in exchange, he wants information about more metahumans.
And they showed, I know they showed Aquaman.
Yep, they showed Flash.
And the Flash.
And then, well, the first one was Enchantress. Like, Enchantress. Oh, okay, I've seen that. He flips the page. Flash. Flips the page. Freaking Jason Momoa.
Which Flash actually even had a cameo in this Suicide Squad movie.
So great. You know,
great little bit, tiny, like not even like 30 seconds.
He has one line, and he just shows up and he's like, huh, you're not very good at this, or something like that.
But everyone in the theater screamed. Mainly just me.
Yeah, just us three. Everybody, you know, I feel like we're the obnoxious jerks in the theater.
I think we were, honestly, this time. I felt a little bad, but I didn't care.
Dude, it was such a great moment where, they're introducing Captain Boomerang. Like how we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, Amanda Waller is going through her files and like, this is Deadshot, Bloodline, this is Harleen Quinzel or Harley Quinn. and then they get to Captain Boomerang. Digger Harkness, I believe, is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, yeah, he was a robber in Australia or something like that.
And then he ended up moving to the States.
He wanted to give a try to robbing things in the States, and he got stopped real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Hint, hint.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
See, I made it funny.
But oh man, yes, that was good. So, back to Amanda Waller and Bruce Wayne. Gives him the files, and he says something to her. He goes, put a stop to your team, or me and my friends will.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, oh my God.
You know what that says? A, Bruce Wayne knows about Task Force X.
Mm-hmm.
And B, Amanda Waller knows about Batman.
Yes.
Because what triggers that is Amanda Waller says, you look tired. And Bruce Wayne is leaving.
Yeah.
He's like, you look tired. You should stop working nights.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he's like, oh, so you know? All right. Mm-hmm. Well, you shut down Task Force X or me and my friends will do it for you.
Yeah.
Dude, that little line had my mind going 1 million, maybe 2 million miles an hour, being like, could you imagine, like, one day we have a Justice League versus Suicide Squad movie?
Oh, God. I'll be right back.
No, because think about it.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it will lead up to it. I think that's going to be DC's version of the Avengers.
Could be.
Putting the two together.
Teams together, yeah. Dude, and there's a moment, you remember when Enchantress was showing Deadshot what his greatest desire was, and his greatest desire was to kill the Bat. I'm sure there's deep reasons why he wanted to do that. Maybe it's because, his daughter made him stand down from a fight,
mm-hmm.
or, Batman used his daughter as leverage to make him surrender, or whether he just wants revenge, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I wanted to kill the Bat, and then at the end of the movie, I think he tells Harley Quinn or Amanda Waller, he's like, well, what are you going to do? He's like, I have something to do in Gotham. So what if Will Smith is the villain of the new Batman solo flick? Or maybe even like a side villain?
See, I don't know if they would go so far as after what they did with Suicide Squad to making him a villain where it would make people hate him.
Yeah. See, I envision maybe he'll be in the Batman movie, but maybe like a side... Like, in Captain America Civil War where they had Crossbones as like the early villain in Civil War. And then, like by, within 15 minutes they have him beaten and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll be like a side cameo like that where Deadshot is going after Batman and Batman just throws him back in prison.
Yeah.
All right, get ready for the next Suicide Squad movie. You're back in here. Boom.
Yeah, that was... Man, I was so happy with this movie.
I think that's all we have to say for that, man.
Yeah.
Yes. All the yes.
That's all I forth, and that's all I gotta say about that.
And that's all we have for this week's Comical Minds podcast.
Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment on the show, or give any suggestions on topics for future episodes.
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Tune in next time for another episode of Comical Minds. But until then, I'm Mike Andrus.
Chris Tavares.
Stay evil, baby.